My name is Angelina Cannon, and at this channel I talk about wedding trends, are super fun. I talk to people about business strategy. I also speak out to couples who are stressed about their wedding and who are having just some types of feelings about weddings. I am here today with another video. I have in the description below a wedding tip guide on how much to tip your wedding vendors. I also have my bridal emergency kit in the description below. And we shall jump into the content. Okay, so here is something from Reddit on a bride, it seems like, who is really terrified about her wedding day. She states this: "I'm absolutely terrified. I have been so excited about our wedding. I really enjoyed planning it all. Now with 39 days to go, I'm getting really nervous. We had our celebrant send through the reading and it all just felt so real, and the realization I have to stand up in front of 50 plus people and speak hit me. I feel like my attitude towards the wedding has got really sour because of this. I love my husband to be and I want to get married, but anxiety is taking over." And crying emoji. Any advice? So sad for this bride. I mean, granted, weddings are definitely nerve-wracking, standing in front of people. My husband was more nervous about it, to stand in front of people, so it is nerve-wracking, but you will get through it, and it's only like 30 to 25 minutes, depending on how long your ceremony is. So you'll get through it, and then you get hopefully the party at the end is my advice. But let's see what other people said on Reddit. Somebody said, "Take some deep and calming breaths. Remember that the people who are at your wedding love you and are not there to judge you, but to celebrate with you. You may wish to practice and what you have to say to feel more comfortable with the words. Even if you make mistakes, it will be beautiful and wonderful because it is a celebration of your love. During the ceremony, focus on your fiance, not the people watching. This should help calm your nerves on the day." Here's another one who had a coordinator. Plug for coordinators and planners. "Our coordinator gave us 2 tips at rehearsal. Take each other's hands so you are really focused on each other. Kiss during the rehearsal because sometimes PDA can feel awkward and you may as well practice it in front of the wedding party. But also my husband and I get emotional at weddings. I cried all the way down the aisle and he was in tears through most of the ceremony. He blubbered." This comes close to home because I remember my husband, he did not have a dry eye, and it was great because I got him. He did not have a dry eye. His words, not mine. His way through the first half of his vows, and it didn't matter at all. I took some very deep breaths when I didn't have to speak, and that also helped a ton. It sounds like your degree of anxiety is pretty high. Have you considered seeing a psychiatrist about it for a professional?" as somebody else said. This is kind of okay. I mean, I believe in mental health, but honestly, this is just nerves, I feel like. She's nervous, and granted, she is allowed to feel that way, so I don't think this should have been placed at her. I really think that it's just her anxiety of standing in front of 50 plus people, and you know, it's really nerve-wracking if you haven't done it before, hence why this person said it. Granted, for me, anxiety is required for me to go to a psychiatrist, but I mean, she can choose whatever way she would like to this comment. She might take it. It might be good just to talk to somebody during the beginning or after the ceremony if it's a big problem. But I don't know if it's a big problem. I think she's just nervous. I can say, safe to say that. So that's what I have for one short for Reddit. But I also was scrolling on Reddit and I saw that somebody was asking for tip guides on how much to tip your wedding vendors. And there's so much information out there. It's so annoying and you never know. It's only as good as what you want to tip and what you put into your budget on tipping. Tipping should always be put in your budget like way before you even get finished with the wedding. So when I do a budget, I always ask wedding couples who is helping them with the financial strain. Is it them? Is it their family? Have they talked to their family? Have they sat down and discussed an actual budget? I mean, even if you're rich, there's still a budget and you need to know, because people who don't stick with a budget really have difficulties. So my advice to you is make sure that you discuss everything with your family before even booking your wedding vendors. And I say to engage couples to slow down. It's all right. Where to start? Starting is the hardest part. But I think if you start by just talking about your guys' priorities. What do you wish in your wedding? What is your dream? And make sure that dream is reality on the cost of what you guys want to spend for a wedding. Do you guys want to just have a micro wedding? That's okay. Do you not want to have a big ceremony? That is okay too. So I'm pulling up information on my website, canoneventsplanning.com. If you scroll down the homepage, you have my wedding tip guide. On the screen, you're seeing what I found from resources. I resourced off the knot. This tipping guide is from 2023, December. I think it's probably the most accurate, but I put a little spin on my advice. So if you have a planner or a wedding coordinator, we like tips. That's wonderful. But sometimes just a gift to appreciate what we did for you is also fine. It doesn't mean we usually make sure that in our cost we have everything placed. So we honestly don't need a tip. We should. At least all planners should. The real ones. Just to let you know. But so for a planner, Nora Shields, co-founder of Bridal Bliss and Rock Paper Coin. Love Rock Paper Coin. Gotta love it. It's the best resource. It has Timeline Genius engraved into it. I love it. It's the best thing. But anyways, beside the point. Sorry, screaming in the background. Wedding planners definitely do. She's saying wedding planners definitely do expect a tip. Okay. I can see if we maybe haven't put anything in our pricing that we would expect a tip. But honestly, a gift for me is great. I love gifts and I put everything in my pricing so that you don't feel like you need to tip me. But a gift is good, or a thank you card. Sometimes just saying thank you is all right. Yes. I love thank you cards, heartfelt thank you cards, because you know what? That's something that we can put on our website, something that we can put in our reviews. It's a thank you card. So I just think of that. band members. It's more optional but preferred. They also like thank you cards. I hung out with a band this summer during my other wedding, Adrian Duke Project. Shouting you guys out, great job. Anyways, I gave them a thank you note for being so respectful of my processes and everything that they did just to agree to meet with me and meet with my clients before the wedding. It was super nice, but this is optional but preferred. Each band member should get $25 to $50. If so, attendants or wedding planners should pass out the envelopes after the reception. Give the tips to your wedding planner. I highly recommend that so you don't have to worry about it. And you should have been working with your wedding planner or coordinator for a while. My wedding coordinator package starts at the 2-month mark, so I get 2 months to know you and so that you can trust me. But that's beside the point. Some planners do it differently. They do 1 month before. I highly recommend 2 months. 2 months or 3 months. Honestly, the more time you have, the better. The 2-month mark I can do because I planned a wedding in 6 months, so I feel confident that I can do 2 months and still have everything organized if I work hard enough. Enough plugging about me, but so it's not expected because it should be already included in their pricing. However, if you would like to tip them, 5 to 15% of the contract amount is suffice, or $50 to $200 per photography team member. So that is their assistants. So make sure they get tipped. This is also tipped at the end of the reception. You can give it the envelope to your wedding coordinator or a trusted family member who is going to give that money to the proper vendors. Make sure you trust them. Make sure they're on their A game. Anyways, videography. So this is not expected. Again, same as photographer, 5 to 15% of the contract amount, and the same tip amount, $50 to $200 per videographer members. This again, their assistants. Usually there's 2 of them, so make sure that they both get tipped. I definitely tipped everybody because I was super nice. And they did such a good job hanging out with me on my wedding day. So I did appreciate my vendors. I loved talking to every single one of them, and I tipped every single one of them. Makeup artists. So both makeup artists and hairstylists are between 15 to 25% of total bill, just as you would a hair salon. So just think about, and always tip at the end of service. And this should come from you, or you can make sure that a family member has it. If planners are there early enough, they can also take the tip amount for you, and they can handle passing out the tips for you. So that is with both the makeup artist and the wedding hairstylist. Now we're going to the wedding delivery staff. So this is people who are delivering your items to the venue. So if you have to rent tables, chairs, etc., this is what it would fall under. So figure out how many people there are. This is why you need a planner, because they're gonna know how many people are in the delivery staff, and we can tip them. So I'm gonna tip them $10 to $50 per person. So depending on your budget, make sure this is included. Now, officiant. Usually if you do an officiant from a church or synagogue or whatever belief, you usually donate to their specific church or synagogue or temple or whatever they believe in. Usually if you donate $100 to $500, then you can tip $50 to $100 for any officiants that are not part of a religious organization like that. So if you have a family member, which I did for my wedding event, I had my uncle-in-law officiate the wedding, and it was great. He was a great speaker. I gave him a thank you gift, a thank you card, and I gave him like a cup saying the world's best officiant. So something small like that is good too. Ceremony musicians. So this is like if you have wedding music played by people who can tip after the ceremony, hand envelope to a family member or planner. It's usually $15 to $50 per musician for musicians. Alterations. So if you're doing any alterations on your wedding attire, male or female or whatever you go by, you can give them a tip. It's not expected, but it's appreciated. So you can give them $20 to $30. You may tip more if the altering required major restructuring. So if you had to get a bustle and you had to hem it up and you had to take it in and all that stuff, like I would recommend tipping a little bit higher for that. My dress didn't require that much. It just required a bustle and maybe a hem, I think. A bustle and a hem, and that was it. So I also got it done from David's Bridal, which I highly do not recommend unless they're really good. My team was really good. I really respected them. They perfected my dress, but it's a hit or miss with David's Bridal. So just make sure you look at the reviews and make sure you trust your alterations professional. So wait staff. I tipped the wait staff. Always tip the wait staff. I believe in this because the gratuity that's in the bill sometimes does not go to the wait staff. Wait staff and bartenders, you're gonna tip 15 to 20% of food and drink fee. Transportation company, so if you get a limo service, you're gonna tip 15 to 20%. Parking attendants, you're gonna tip 1 to 5 per car. Cake baker, you're gonna tip $50 to $100 or give a small gift. That is most appreciated too. Photo booth attendant, $50 to $100 depending on the amount of hours that they're attending the photo booth and helping your guests. Florist, you're going to tip $50 to $200 or a small gift. That is most appreciated. You're going to tip $50 to $150. And I think that is it. If you want wedding advice, please stay tuned and stay subscribed. Business advice is coming up. Don't worry, I got you all business owners. And I appreciate your time with me. And if you want to know about Bridal Dreams, here.